Growing up, I had dreams and aspirations, but always felt like the kid that didn't fit in. For the most part, I wasn't a bad kid, but when I made the transition into adulthood, I turned to the streets for guidance. This led to getting locked up in juvenile hall, doing time in CYA, and eventually a 120-month sentence in federal prison. I had a lot of time to think and reflect during my federal sentence, so I share with you what I learned, hoping I can positively influence someone else's life with Prison Talk. What's up, everybody? Big Herc Prison Talk. Happy holidays! Hope y'all are, enjoying your holidays with family members or loved ones or people that you care about, because, it's a good time to kind of reach out to people you haven't reached out to and do something special. Anyways, subscribe to our channel. Make sure you guys hit the bell. Also, subscribe to our Instagram, our Twitter, and our Patreon, which is FreshOutSeries. We really appreciate you guys supporting us. You guys have made us one of the top channels on YouTube. And if you got any questions, hit us up at FreshOutSeries@gmail.com. I'll try to answer your question. And if you got some consulting, holler at us. If you got personal questions, I try to answer those on a consulting level. So don't feel don't get in your feelings. It's just, those questions require a little bit more in-depth. Anyways, had a question from one of our viewers. Big Herc, your YouTube channel is amazing and very informative with real life testimony on what prison life entails. My question is, how does a prisoner keep themselves healthy in prison? Do you get physical checkup at the institution by medical staff? Do you get blood tests done for yearly checkups, or do they deprive prisoners from such privilege? How did you feel in prison overall health-wise? Did you notice less energy and more depression because of the shortcuts in the diet they fed prisoners? Did you notice a decrease in strength or decrease in T levels? Cheers, Craig. You do get regular checkups in prison, man. You don't even have to, I don't recall signing up, to go to medical yearly, but they do regular checkups. They, at some institutions, they have you talk to a psych. As far as physically, you work out, man. Everybody in there is on beast mode. And as far as T levels, I think they're actually elevated because you're around other men, and being around that environment causes you to be more aggressive because you're almost in like a more animalistic type environment. So I didn't really notice any decreased levels of tests. I used to beat my meat regularly every week. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't on no booty time, so I would look at fuck books all the time, and I never noticed any decrease in testosterone, to be honest with you. And as far as the diet, the food is shit, but you make do. I hustled in the law library, so I did legal work for stamps, for commissary. I always had stamps. Me and my homies always had stamps, so we'd buy chicken, steak, different things from the kitchen, powdered milk, oatmeal. We always ate. I'm a big motherfucking nigga, and I like to eat, so I always had a hustle. And me and my partners, we always got our grub on. We always ate, and we made sure that we, worked out every day. I worked out usually, sometimes twice a day, and studied twice a day, and that was my program. And so as far as health-wise, we made sure we kept our health on point. And we made up for the food where we could. You eat a lot of carbs, a lot of processed shit, but you also do a lot of, you do a routine where you do a lot of, as far as like going to bed at a certain time, getting up at a certain time, locking down at a certain time. So you're getting your rest, so you're recovering, and you're able to still build muscle and recover, even though you're lacking protein and other essentials. I remember they sold multivitamins in there. I used to buy those off of commissary. They didn't sell protein in the feds. The closest thing we had to that was powdered milk, like I mentioned. Powdered milk, oatmeal, and peanut butter was like a staple. As far as just overall, depression plays a major factor. So, you try to find outlets to kind of like decompress that, working out, studying, putting together like, what do you call, like almost like think tanks with other guys, and just visioning what you'd be doing on the street. So while people on the street are so caught up on reality TV, the bullshit that's going on at work or the news, I never really watched the news because it didn't matter what the fuck was going on the news because I'm locked the fuck up. I focused on, okay, I get out and say X amount of years now. What am I going to do if I got out tomorrow? What would be the business I would go into? How would I support myself? What resources would I have access to? How would I feed myself? I played with those ideas in my head a million times. And that way I didn't become overwhelmed or feel intimidated when I got out or allowed myself to be institutionalized. So as far as for depression, because I didn't get no visits, I didn't have no girlfriend or wife coming to see me, I really tried to just focus on me being a stronger individual mentally, spiritually, and, physically staying on my game. And, you try to channel those things and not let them affect you. As far as health-wise, you get your teeth cleaned. Everything you sign up every, I think 6 months. I used to get my teeth cleaned. I had a homie that worked as a dentist, so I would hook up, and he put me on the dental list, so I worked that. I had asthma sometimes, bronchitis sometimes. It would flare up, so I always, I went and got checked up for that every so often, and they give me a new inhaler, so I never had an issue with that. But my health was always straight. Plus, I was real good at the paperwork. I knew how to file grievances. I knew how to write motherfuckers up. I knew how to, serve people with papers, whether it be a summons or a notice. So I got medical treatment when I needed it. I can't speak for every other inmate who was in there, maybe the ones who were thugged out acting ignorant because they didn't have any sense. But if you were somewhat educated and you carried yourself, in a regular fashion, usually they kind of handled the business with you, man. You didn't have a whole lot of, slack back. You didn't have a whole lot of issues getting the things you needed medically. But I've seen some people who were fucked up, who needed medical attention, and they'd put it off. They would make, excuses or, delay the medical attention. But I got hurt one time working out, had a minuscule tear in my tricep, and within 45 minutes, I was on the road and headed to the hospital for MRI, and that cost them money. But they did it. They had me up out of there quick. So I actually got medical treatment faster, or as fast as a person would have on the street. So yeah, I didn't have any issues with medical care or dental care in there. And I always stayed on top of that stuff, man. I felt that the worst thing to do would be to go to prison and come out all fucked up, unhealthy, and just, not able to acclimate myself back to society. So I made sure I took care of that, and always followed up on all my medical issues if I did have any. Lockdown's over. Get your yard time in. Exclusively at FreshOutSeries.com.